How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice to see you. Thank you for doing this again.
Yeah, of course. I'm honored that you asked again. So thank you.
You said you guys have some renovations going on or what?
We had some maintenance issues this morning, so we were kind of dealing with that. And then I was starving, so I wanted to make sure I had enough time to like grab something to eat. But we're all good now.
Oh, that's great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a crazy morning for me too. I went to Melissa's graduation. It was at the
Um,
rodeo in Salinas. Oh my God, that was nuts. I tried to
yeah.
It started at 10, so I tried to get there like as early as possible, but
Mhm.
I was like in traffic for like an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And then parking there and then walking there. And well, you know how graduations are, they're always so chaotic.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh.
You're a
Um,
trooper then. That's amazing.
and I just finished finals yesterday. Like the semester ended
Oh my
yesterday.
gosh.
So I'm ready to like catch up on sleep because I haven't really slept for the last 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember how that goes.
Do you know
Are
how
you
it
taking any
goes?
classes over the summer? Or are you actually getting some time to chill?
I had to take one class,
Okay.
a history class, which I thought was so dumb because the counselor was like, we were going through my education plan and stuff, making sure I'm on track. And she's like, "Oh, you need a history class." And I'm like, "No, I took one for my GEDs." And she's like, "Yeah, but that one doesn't count." And I'm like, because I took like a Mexican history class because I didn't want to take
Oh,
US or world history. So they told me I need a history class. So I'm taking it this summer. Thank God it's virtual, so I think it's like on my own pace. I think everything's already pre-recorded and everything, so I get to
okay.
do it on my own pace. But yeah, I'm doing women in history. I like to do something like a little more specific, something that interests me. I can't really do world
Yeah.
history and stuff like that. I find it very boring.
Yeah, that's so fair. That sounds really cool. That's awesome that they even offer that, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, so one class this summer, and then yeah, I have the fall and then the spring, and then I graduate. So hopefully everything
Yay.
goes well. Yeah.
Amazing. That sounds awesome.
What was Well, the first thing I want to ask you, because you came on my podcast close to like 4 years ago, you were like one of my
Oh,
first.
that's
I
crazy.
know time flies. So I keep telling everyone, I'm like, what is like something new within these past 4 years that has happened to you, or how have you grown? What have you learned within these past 4 years?
Oh my gosh. It's crazy because it feels like so much has changed, but also nothing at all, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, since we last talked, what was that, like 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I think
Well, I
I've only seen you twice since then. I saw you in LA, we had dinner, and then Katie's birthday I got to see you. So I haven't really seen you too much.
I know. Yeah. I wish I could come home more often, but it's tough. But yeah, since we last talked, I graduated from Cal Poly, so I wrapped that up in 2022.
Hmm.
Um, and then shortly thereafter, I landed a job out here in LA. So pretty shortly after I graduated, I think within like a couple of months,
Wow.
we packed up and moved out here. And I was working in Santa Monica for a little over a year.
Hmm.
But now I work out in Studio City. So we moved, just a couple months ago. We just moved again in March out to the Valley so I could be a little bit closer to my office. Um, but yeah, it's crazy to think that it's been that long. I feel like we were still in like pandemic times a little bit, right? And so I think we've kind of come out of that more so in the last few years. So a lot has changed as far as that goes. And getting my first like real big person jobs and stuff like that has been weird. But a little bit of imposter syndrome type vibes, right? But we're out here doing it. We're
Yeah, that's
making it.
so great. So great. I'm sorry if you hear some notifications. I texted a bunch of people back before we started, so I feel like I'm gonna get some messages. Um,
No worries. Same thing. I just want to apologize in advance if my cat pops up anywhere. He tends to know pretty quickly when I hop on my laptop, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he makes his way over here at some point.
I hope he does pop up. I want to see him. Oh my gosh.
He'll
What do you
figure it
do?
out
What
soon
do you do
enough.
for work specifically? What do you do?
Yeah, so I work at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Gosh.
Um, Yeah, I'm a group and event sales coordinator. So I work on a team that sells like corporate events, basically. So anybody who wants to have like a company picnic or wants to come and buy out the park for their employees, I
Wow.
work on that team and support all of our reps and managers with those kinds of things. So I work in an office on City Walk, if you're familiar with like the layout. So
I am.
yeah, I'm on property. We're hybrid, so 3 days a week I'm at the park, and yeah, it's it's been really fun. I'm grateful for the job that I got right out of school that was closer in Santa Monica because I feel like everything happens for a reason, and like without that step, I wouldn't be where I am right now. But this is probably the best job I've ever had. It's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds super fun. Do you get to go to the park for free, like whenever you want?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the perks.
Love it.
Steven bought an annual pass because he really likes going Universal, and so I can go whenever. And so now that he has a pass, he essentially can too. So we'll pop over on the weekends and stuff, or go and see a movie on City Walk some nights. So
Hmm.
we're there a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I do love the park. I would go a lot because that's where the Kelly Clarkson show was. So I try to go
Oh
like once a year. Her studio was down where all the studios are. So I would go. I get very motion sick like all the time. So a lot of those rides, there's like a screen and I just get very dizzy and I think I threw up after I think it was Harry
no,
Potter.
yeah,
But yeah, the Harry Potter one fucks me up. The Secret Life of Pets, the Minions. I think Transformers is a screen. So I'm like, we need some more like real rides. I do like the Jurassic Park one. I like the Mummy, but
yeah.
everything else, like I get very dizzy.
You are not alone in that, and I feel the same exact way. I get super motion sick too. It's similar to like Disney, right? Like Disney has that one Star Tours ride where you're sitting in front of a screen and it just like jiggles you around. And so
Hmm.
we do have a lot of those types of rides, and I just can't ride them. So the studio tour is my favorite ride because
Yeah,
you get to go into the back lot and see a lot of that stuff. And it's not one of those kind of motion simulator rides.
right.
I cannot do Harry Potter at all. I will gladly hold your bag if you get on it.
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
my little brother actually threw up the last time they came down right after that ride, too. So you're definitely not alone. But
Yeah.
they're working on a new coaster for next that's supposed to debut next year that's themed to Fast and Furious. So
Ooh.
it's and we've been watching the construction over the last few months, right? And it's like a Six Flags type, like it's going to be intense. So for whatever reason, I can handle coasters better than the screen-based rides. So I think
Same.
I should be okay on that. But I'm definitely looking forward to that next year for sure.
Oh my God, I can't wait to try that one out. I still haven't even gone to the Nintendo World yet. So I gotta try that out. How is
Yeah.
it?
It's super cute.
Yeah.
It's a very like immersive little land. The one main ride is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which is like a Mario Kart simulator. You put on like it's not VR, AR goggles, and so it
Okay.
adds different elements. Oh, here he comes.
There he is.
Hey, I knew you would figure it out eventually, sir.
He's
But
so
come on.
sweet.
His name is Apollo. He's very nice.
Hi, Apollo. He's the only cat you have?
Yeah, at the moment. I'm sure eventually we'll
Yeah.
get at least one more, but I don't know how he would do with another cat friend, if I'm being honest. He's a pretty spoiled only child, so I don't know how he would feel
He
sharing
likes the
that.
attention.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
Ah. But yeah, you need to come out and check out Super Nintendo for sure. It's super cool. I I don't get sick on the Mario Kart ride. I know that with like putting on the goggles, that seems like it might like lend
Hmm.
itself to that, but I'm okay on that ride, so I feel like you'd be good too. But
Okay.
it's worth checking out for
Yeah.
sure.
What about the Halloween Horror Nights? I say I want to go every year, even though I'm a little scaredy cat. Everything scares me. But I've seen pictures and videos and everything looks so cool, so badass. So I do want to go. What is it like at that time?
Oh my gosh. I felt the same way a few years ago. I was like, everything that I had heard about Universal Halloween Horror Nights was that it's on 10. Because it's like a movie studio, the effects, the makeup, the costuming, all that stuff, and the scares are crazy. And so I was always really scared to even go check it out too. But
Mhm.
when I finally did, game changer.
Oh wow.
I honestly, yeah, I now I have to go every year and I have to go at least once or twice, if not multiple nights throughout the season because
Yeah,
it's so much fun. And I think it's because it's so well done.
it is.
There are so many like amazing elements to it. It is the one thing that I look forward to most during the fall season. So I think this year should be the year, Yoel. We haven't had any announcements yet, and so I wish I had more of the inside scoop, but
Hmm.
from the rumblings I've heard thus far, it seems like it's going to be a good year. So I'm excited to see what they announce in the next few months. Usually over the summer is when we get a lot of those.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, so how
yeah.
about when the announcement comes, I'll plan and I'll let you know which weekend I'm going so we can make sure that we go
Please.
together.
I would love that. Yeah,
Okay,
that
I'm
would
not
be
messing
awesome.
around. Like I really want to do it.
Please, yes, it would be so much fun.
Yes.
And
I
this
know
may
you.
make me sound old, but
Uh-huh.
um, earplugs. Just gotta say, wearing earplugs, kind of a
Oh,
game changer. um, because it like dilutes a lot of the sounds when you're in like the mazes and stuff like that, which is
got it.
I think what primarily scares me the most is like the loud noises when the scares are coming. So the earplugs dilute it a little bit and makes it a little bit more tolerable. So it's not as like in your face and scary, if that makes sense.
Yeah, got it.
So
So yeah,
little tip.
I will bring mine because I have a pair. I have actually a really nice pair because when I sang the national anthem a couple years ago for a baseball game, the delay was so bad and the echo was so bad. And there was just a lot of sound going on that I didn't like, so I couldn't focus and it would like hurt my head. So
Yeah.
this time around when I did it this year, I had these cool headphones or earbuds and it blocked off everything and I could really just focus on myself. And yeah, I'm usually sensitive to a lot of like loud noise. Like even when we go out to like the clubs or the bars or whatever, I'm just like this the whole time. Like it's really loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Highly
Hmm.
recommend for sure. You ended up coming out here last year, right? Did you go to Knott's for Halloween?
Oh, okay, yeah. Andrew, yeah, Andrew, he's never done like any of that typical LA stuff. So Andrew, Bobby, and I, we planned a weekend, of, yeah, all that like Hollywood Walk of Fame, Santa Monica Pier. We saw the Hollywood sign. What they wanted to do, did we go, I think end of October or November? They wanted to do all these haunted bars and stuff like that.
Oh,
So we found something online that it was kind of like bar hopping, but all these bars that are like haunted and they have like themed drinks and like artifacts and like cool stuff. So we mostly did that. I love Raising Cane's, so I made it
mm,
in the schedule like we have to go to Raising Cane's. The goal was to go to Knott's Berry Farms for Halloween because I heard it was really cool, but
yeah,
we were only there for like that Saturday and we were so jam-packed, so we didn't end up making it. But
gotcha.
for his first time like in LA doing LA stuff, it was really fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we did.
right on. Um, I just want to throw it out there since you mentioned Raising Cane's. City Walk is opening a Raising Cane's. I don't know when officially the date is that they'll open, but they just announced that a few weeks ago. So when you come to Universal for Halloween Horror Nights, hopefully it'll be open and we can eat Raising Cane's first and then go in and have a great time.
Oh my God, I love Raising Cane's so much. That excites me because they close like
Amazing.
at 2 a.m., like all of them, and I just love the food so much. I've been to most of them in the Bay Area. They're opening one in Salinas this year. Super
Oh,
excited about it.
really? Okay.
Yeah, and by the Northridge Mall, right over there.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I love Raising Cane's. Yeah, in the City Walk, I've been to the Italian Buca di Beppo. I've been there.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
ate we
Yeah.
ate there, and then yeah, there's a Pan Express there. We ate there. And yeah, I've been to that. It was like a Harry Potter store. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I like the City Walk. It's very cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
There's a
that's
lot of changes kind of happening in the near future. So there's some new stuff coming, like the Raising Canes and stuff. So I think they're and not necessarily like rebranding at all, but bringing more new things. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to be really exciting for a lot of people.
Cool. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Disneyland, last time you told me about the Star Wars rides that I had to ride them because at that point I didn't. And I've been
Hmm.
twice since then, and those are the best rides, like in the whole park, like both of them. Like I
Right.
enjoyed it so much, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. Rise of the Resistance is top tier. Yeah. It is amazing. Um, it's hard for me to pick a favorite ride, but I think like just with how advanced the technology on that ride is, I got to give it the top spot. It's like it's trackless for one, and then you're going up and down. There's that little, secret thing that happens towards the end as far as like the drop goes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that ride is awesome.
Yeah, I felt like I was in the movie. Like I felt for a moment, I felt like I was like in trouble. Like when I saw all the stormtroopers lined up, I was like, "Oh my God, this feels legit." I loved it. And the other one too, where you ride in the ship and you just like have a job to do.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, I think for that one, they're gonna start rolling out like new storylines essentially. So for the
Hmm.
Millennium Falcon ride, they've had the one storyline where you go out and you get the coaxium and stuff, but I think they're supposed to create a new storyline that you can do that's themed to the Mandalorian. So
Cool.
like with like Grogu and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see what that looks like because that
That
was a great series.
yeah, it's very popular, and they're coming out with the movie. I think next year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be really
Uh,
cool.
yeah.
We went
Do you have
to
any plans to come back down here anytime soon?
I'm trying to think. Um, there was. I did want to come because Beyonce was doing shows down there like
Oh yeah.
recently. But I couldn't because of finals. Like it was the planning was just so crazy, so I wasn't able to do that. Um, no, I went to San Diego a couple weeks ago for
Oh nice.
Easter weekend. So we did the San Diego Zoo and we did the safari as well. And yeah, we were in San Diego for a little bit. I'm trying to see because I'm a big Benson Boone fan, and he's not doing shows in the Bay Area. He's doing shows in LA and San Diego. So as of now, no. Besides the Halloween Horror
Okay.
Nights for now, I usually go. I usually end up going maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
My friends are going in August. Is it called Hard Summer? There's like a festival or something in LA.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that. I'm not gonna go to that. But I usually end up, yeah, at some point.
Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Um,
have Halloween to look forward to then at this point. But if you plan anything before then, let me know when you'll be around.
Definitely, definitely. And I wanted to ask you about the transition though, because you grew up here in the area your whole life. Talk to me about the transition going down to LA. I know it's a big switch, so how was it for you, like adjusting and moving in and settling in down there?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's weird because I feel like even growing up, something always like appealed to me about being out this way. I
Hmm.
wasn't really sure if I wanted to end up like in LA or in San Diego, but something about like a bigger area with more things to do and more food to try and more things to see and warmer weather more often
Yeah.
really appealed to me. Um, and so it was something I had always kind of wanted to do. And I figured once I graduated, trying to find an opportunity that would allow me to go out that way would be the best way to kind of go about getting the opportunity to live out here and
Hmm.
understand what it's like. But it was a pretty big transition, right? It's like a much bigger area, a lot more people, a lot more
Yeah.
traffic, as I'm sure you know.
Mm.
Um, so it's very, very different. Much more of a city feel rather than like being back home, where it's like not so much that at all. um, but overall, I feel like we settled pretty quickly for the most part. Like it was a little bit of an adjustment. I think for me, mostly just being that much further away from like my family and
Yeah.
the friends that I have back home, because it does make it more challenging to make it back home and to
Yeah.
just pop in and it takes a little bit more coordination with like my work schedule, and because the drive is so much further, it's like yeah, it's harder to pop over for like a weekend,
Yeah.
and not try to take some time on the front or the back end of that. So I feel like that's probably the hardest part of transitioning to living out here was just being further away. But otherwise, I have really enjoyed it. I really like being out here. The weather is better a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Um, it, you get to meet a lot of really interesting people, and try a lot of cool new things and be closer to some of the things that I enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland, and going to the beach sometimes. And there's
Yeah.
some great hiking spots, as like near the Hollywood sign and stuff. Like I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different things that you have access to being out this way. Um, so I've really enjoyed it. I feel like it was the right move for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that my family and some of my friends back home were a little bit closer and more accessible so I could see them a little bit more often.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's hard for me, and I moved, but I still live close to them. But it's like sometimes I'm like, whoa, like work has been crazy and school has been crazy, and I'm like I haven't like seen them in a minute, and like
Yeah.
being on the phone with them all the time, like it's just it's a different thing. So I could only imagine. When you do visit, do you usually drive or do you like to fly or how do you usually come home?
Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to fly home every time because
Mm,
my family lives in Salinas. So if I fly into Monterey, it's
yeah.
like a 10-minute drive home. It's beautiful, but it's pretty pricey to do
Mm,
that.
yeah.
So we tend to fly home, or not fly home, we tend to drive home more often than not. That lends itself to both of us being able to go and like only have to fill up the car a couple of times as opposed to buying two plane tickets.
Oh God.
And it allows us to bring our cat home so he can
Yeah.
travel with us. He has a couple of cousins back home at my dad's house that he enjoys playing with, so we try to bring him with us when we can. um, but yeah, it's tough. I prefer to go home when I know I can take either that Friday or Monday off, or if I
Hmm.
know that we already have like a holiday mixed in there somewhere. Because otherwise, it's like I work all day Friday, and then if we try to hit the road, we end up home closer to like 11 p.m. or midnight, if
Yeah.
not later than that, depending
Yeah.
on the traffic getting out of here.
Hmm.
But then it's like we only really have Saturday to spend with everybody before we have to turn around
Yeah.
on Sunday. And if we don't leave by a certain time on Sunday, then we end up back here super late. So that part of it's kind of a bummer. But like you said, it's like balancing all the things, right? It's like
Hmm.
balancing your work schedule and trying to still have a little bit of a social life and all those things. Like, I can't believe the last time that I saw you was over a year ago for Katie's birthday. Like, where has that time gone? I genuinely don't know. It just flies like crazy.
Yeah.
Ah,
It
man,
feels like yesterday. I'm like, I can't even freaking believe it. Like
right?
insane.
It is wild. It is super wild.
Yeah. She even invited me today. I guess today's her mom's birthday, I believe. Either it's today or it's coming soon, but today they're doing something for her. And she invited me. I'm like, I
Oh,
wish I can come, but I just can't. I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
So,
I know. She had asked me if I could make it home this weekend too, and I
mhm.
wish I could have, but we just couldn't swing it this weekend. We got some other stuff going on too. So
Yeah.
I hope they have a great time. I miss
I
them
know.
very, very much and sending them all my love always.
Yeah, I saw them recently. They came to my national anthem thing in San Jose, so it was nice
Nice.
that they took the time and came and we went to Dave's Hot Chicken. Have you tried Dave's Hot Chicken?
Oh my God. Yes. I love Dave's Hot Chicken. I
That's
just had it a couple days ago, actually.
my favorite place. I love it so much.
It is so good. And I don't really like hot chicken, so I get mild chicken, so I don't even know if that counts, but it is so good.
Yeah, I get
Their sauce, their Dave's Hot Chicken sauce, so, so good.
yes, and
Uh,
honey, and I don't really like pickles, but I like the pickles from there. I'll eat it with the chicken, and it's so good. So yeah, any kind of event that I do, like in San Jose, whatever, I always add we're going to Dave's Hot Chicken after. So they
yeah.
came, and it was nice. I do love that place a lot.
We
Um,
were in Vegas last weekend, And we flew in super late last Friday night and we were starving by the time we had like checked into our hotel and everything. And we were staying at Planet Hollywood, which we've never stayed at before. And so we weren't super sure where there was anywhere to eat. And so we just kind of found ourselves wandering around. And then it was like, oh, we turned a corner and it was like a Dave's Hot Chicken. Perfect.
Yes, I know which
Uh,
one you're talking about. I've been to that one.
oh, yeah. Like, this is fantastic. This is perfect. It's like one
Yes.
o'clock in the morning. We're like, yes, thank God.
Yes.
Uh,
Living in LA, I'm sure a lot of craziness goes on. What is like the craziest encounter or maybe like any celebrities you've met or anything like that? Like what's the moment you're like, "Oh my God, that's freaking crazy."
yeah. Um, okay, I'll start with freaking crazy. And it happened like within the first month of like living out here. Um, I was driving to work in the morning on the freeway, and this guy, I don't, it's hard for me to explain, but we're on the freeway and I'm in like the right-hand lane, and there's somebody directly to the left of me. Like, you can't move over and merge into me because I'm right next to you. And I also can't see if you have your blinker on because you're right next to me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so we're in traffic. I'm inching up further. He ended up getting behind me and getting around me on like a on-ramp lane, rolled his window down and was screaming at me and calling me a bitch and stuff like that and telling me I wasn't letting him over. And I was like, I literally didn't see that you were trying to get over because you're right next to me, screaming at me, cussing at me. So I flipped him off. I was like, you're not going to sit here and scream and cuss at me. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, get
Yeah.
get fricked.
Yeah.
He did not like that.
Oh my gosh.
So his like lane started moving up further, but he stopped. Once he saw that I flipped him off, he dead stopped. And so when my lane inched up back to him, he started screaming at me again and cussing at me. And I was like, bro, like, get over it. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're exactly where you wanted to be now. Like, what's the big deal? And he threw a full cup of like 7-Eleven coffee at my car.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, so that was super fun. Hey, I guess I'm glad that that was all that he did, but it was still like, you gotta be fucking joking. Like, come on, bro. Nothing is that deep. It's like, I'm sure you feel super tough now that you just threw a giant cup of coffee at a girl's car. Like, hope that made your day better,
Um,
sir.
that is a
Um,
scary experience though. Like that could have gone a lot worse too.
right? It's like you hear all those things about like I don't like to have confrontation on the road because you really never know. People are
Hmm.
crazy for no reason, and so I do feel glad that that was all that it was. Was it super annoying to like wash the coffee with a bunch of creamer in it off my car? Yeah, that was not super fun. Um, but you know, hey, it could have been worse. But that was like my um what's the word? That was like my orientation to LA. I feel like it's like, okay, well, hey, you know, people out here are nuts sometimes. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. So that was pretty crazy. Um, I've had some like interesting experiences on the metro system. Nothing super scary, but there are some interesting folks on there sometimes. So I don't particularly like to take the metro ever by myself,
Hmm.
or at nighttime. So
Yeah.
if you're out here and taking like the LA Metro, it's a great mode of transportation, especially to certain popular destinations out here. Um, just like know what you're doing, just keep your like bearings together, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as like celebrities and stuff, honestly, not a ton. I haven't seen a whole lot. Um, I saw JoJo Siwa on City Walk one time, and then but it was kind of one of those double take things. Like, oh, it's JoJo Siwa. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then another time, I was out at dinner with one of my coworkers, and Adam Scott came and sat down at a table behind us. The guy from Parks and Rec and Severance.
Yeah.
That was super cool because we were like, no way, wait, hold on, that's Adam Scott. It
That's
was
so
in pretty
cool.
close proximity, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, I know you're familiar with One Iota, but you may have even told me about One Iota moons ago, honestly.
Yeah.
But Stephen and I have gotten to do a couple of like red carpet things
Yeah.
through One Iota. So we've gotten to see some celebrities a little bit more at a distance, but at like red carpet events. And we went to like a trailer premiere for the last Fast and Furious movie. So some like Vin Diesel and stuff were there. So that was super cool. Um, but that's part of the reason I love being out here because even though you get some of those crazier, more odd experiences like the coffee thing, you also get the opportunity to do some of these cooler things that aren't as easily accessible if you're living in other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a joy.
Yeah, one iota. Yeah, that's what I used for the Kelly Clarkson show, and for other stuff, I took my dad to see Ridiculousness, so that was through one iota. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and with the metro, I know what you mean because I got back from New York and I'm like, well, we're obviously gonna have to take the subway at some point or not.
Mhm.
And I've read a lot of horrible things that happen in the subway, especially at night. And I have some family in New York, so I've read, well, they've told me about things that have happened and stuff. So I was always scared about the subway. But if you're with someone and you kind of just mind your business, you act like you know what you're doing,
Mhm.
keep track of your stops, and don't look at someone like they'll think you're looking at them the wrong way, stuff like that. So public transport is very scary. And right now we're planning a trip to Boston. And yeah, they're like, we can just take the red line. It'll take you anywhere you want to go. Do this, do this. I'm like, okay, like I'll follow your step, but you just never know what can happen, especially if you're by
Yeah.
yourself or just in the wrong time, wrong place, you know?
100%.
Um,
Yeah, it's very similar out here. Like you said, as long as you're like minding your own business and not like staring at anybody or anything like that, like
yeah.
you're totally fine. But yeah, this is just better to just be aware of your surroundings and those kinds of things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell me about the LA fires. I know I texted you when all of
Oh,
that went
yeah.
down. How was your place? How was the area you were in? Like what was it like dealing with all that at the time?
Yeah, I mean, it was thankfully we were in an area that was relatively like unaffected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were still living closer to Santa Monica at the time, so um, the we were at I was at work that day with my coworker, and it was so windy. We had like gone down to grab a coffee at one point, and we were literally like getting blown around. It was wild. We were like,
Wow.
this is crazy. What is this wind stuff? And then, like, on the drive home, like, power lines were down, like, stoplights were out. So it took me forever to get home that day.
Wow.
And when I got home, that's when I started getting all the alerts about, like, I guess the fire in the Pacific Palisades, which is near Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
That one had sparked earlier in the day, and because of how crazy the wind was, it just erupted, as I'm sure you saw and had heard about. And so we were carefully kind of watching the news with that because it was pretty far north relatively from where we lived. So we weren't impacted, but because of the way that the news was talking about it, it seemed pretty scary. So we were trying to keep an eye on it. And then that other fire, the Eaton fire in Altadena, popped up too. And and it was like, oh God, like that they can't catch a break because the winds were so bad. And so both of
Wow.
them were just whipping up and tearing through these communities, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, so with the uncertainty, especially in that first like day or two, we were all told to work from home. So
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty much home on my computer, working as much as I could, but everyone kind of having an understanding of like what's going on and kind of the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just like watching the news all day, and it just wasn't getting a whole lot better within that first day or two. And a lot of the things we were seeing were really sad, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people losing their homes and businesses and stuff like that. Um, so I'm grateful that we weren't directly impacted. But I think at this point, like we all know somebody who knows somebody that was directly affected. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so really, really sad stuff. But I think um, with even though it is awful and a lot of people lost a whole lot, and that is super, super unfortunate. It only impacted about 2 or 3% of like LA.
Wow.
So I think with like more of like the national and even like the global like news outlets, like I don't know if you saw those pictures that were like AI generated of like the Hollywood sign on fire and stuff like that. Like people were posting those kinds of things, and I think it was
Got it.
making it worse, even though like those areas weren't impacted. So
Got it.
it it did a lot of damage in those two regions, but overall, like LA as a whole wasn't. I don't want to say wasn't impacted too directly because a lot of people were, but as far as like geographically, like a lot of LA wasn't damaged. Like Hollywood wasn't damaged, like downtown wasn't affected, and things like that. Um, but those areas are still very much recovering to the extent that they can at this point. I don't think you can go through Malibu at all right now,
Okay.
even 4 or 5 months later.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of time to get back to some form of normalcy for those communities that were affected for sure.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you said 2 to 3% because yeah, like all the pictures we were seeing, everything on the news, like it seemed like it was like majority of like Los Angeles. It seemed like a lot. And yeah, communities got affected, which is so unfortunate. And yeah, when you mentioned the Hollywood sign, I'm like, I feel like I did see that. There was quite a few like AI stuff. And I get it, spreading awareness on what's going on and let's donate money, let's raise money and
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, the fact that you said 2 to 3%, like imagine if it was more. Like it could have been a lot crazier.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And um in working for the theme park, we work in like the hospitality kind of
Yeah.
sector. And so that kind of hit like the travel and tourism industry out here pretty hard that first part of the year because
Hmm.
so many people thought that like LA just straight up burnt to the ground. It's like, well, we
Mm.
can't go to LA because everything got burnt up. Um, but we're trying to let people know that like a lot of places still are open and functioning, and these communities they need support 1,000%. And for some areas, like they rely heavily on tourism and people coming in and visiting from out of town. And so
Mhm.
just trying to remind people that like, hey, yes, we're definitely open, and you coming out here directly supports our communities closest to us, kind of a thing. So
Mhm.
that was super important to kind of try to spread that, especially earlier on in the year, because so many people just thought LA was gone, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did they have you working from home?
Um, we worked from home probably about a week. Maybe
Okay.
that week when it was really kind of intense, those first couple of days. But then
Yeah.
once the winds died down a little bit more, they were able to bring in like the planes and giant like water scooper helicopters and stuff like that to
Right.
have more of an aerial fight because they were just like fighting the fire from the ground with how bad things were with the winds and stuff. So once they were able to get more of that support, and they had, fire departments out from all over the place were out here
Yeah.
helping, which was amazing. Um, so once more of that support kind of came through, things got a little bit better, and we were able to kind of go back to work. I want to say that next week, once things were a
Mm.
little bit more contained.
Yeah. Thank God for
Yeah.
firefighters. Like I kept saying it.
Oh
Thank God for
man.
the firefighters. Thank God for all of them. I know a lot of the NorCal firefighters went down there,
Mhm.
and yeah, thank God for firefighters.
1,000,000%. Yeah, our first responders are amazing. Literally,
Hmm.
so 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 grateful for the work that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also any goals for you? Anything that you're trying to accomplish in the next couple years? Yeah, any like life goals?
That's a great question. Hmm.
Are you 25? Have you turned 25
I
yet?
am. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 25 this year and I'm like, oh, no more early 20s. The late teens are gone.
No.
Getting closer to 30. Like, I don't know.
How is that possible? How did we get here?
I don't know. I don't even know how to feel about it. Life just flies by.
Yeah.
Um, but I am like, I don't know. I'm proud of like how far I've gone. I feel like every year I do get more confident, more sure of myself.
Mhm.
I figure out myself a little more. But still, I can't believe it. My little sister Samira, she graduates from North County on June 6th. And then
Yeah, well,
my
my
yeah.
sister Sienna, I don't know if you remember her. She graduates high school at that first week of June too, but they live in Oregon now, so we're gonna go
Hmm.
up that way for her
Oh
graduation.
my gosh. I think I do remember. And you have a little brother as well, right?
I have two younger brothers and two younger sisters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Time just flies. And yeah, my little sister Aaliyah, she's done at Echo Valley, so she'll be at the middle school in the fall. And I'm like,
Oh my
what is
gosh.
going on? I don't know.
Seriously, it's like, oh, you guys make me feel so old. And people, sometimes those people that like follow like my family or have them on Facebook or whatever will see pictures of my siblings and be like, what happened? Like, how are they like this big now and this old? And like, dude,
Hmm.
I don't know. My brother has his driver's license now, and I don't, I don't know where the time went at all. It's crazy.
Yeah. Your brother was making mojitos. He was acting like way older than he was. He's like, you want a mojito? I'm like, who are you to offer me a mojito?
Why he was mixing mojitos, it wasn't me. It wasn't, I didn't tell him to do that. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I miss those little guys.
Yeah. What are
Oh,
some of your life goals that you want to accomplish in the next couple years?
that's a great question. Oh man. I'll be honest, I haven't really like thought about it a whole lot. I feel like
Hmm.
I think just kind of growing within my team at work, I think
Hmm.
kind of finding where that next step is for me in terms of getting a promotion or like, kind of progressing through my role and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I would say that is a big one, just continuing to grow within the company and be more involved and things like that. Um, oh man, I'd say that is probably a major one. I've
Yeah.
thought here and there about potentially going back to school, but I don't know if that is maybe something that I'll end up doing. I would need to think a little bit more about that just because it's another hefty investment, and I just don't know
Yeah.
that another degree is like required for where I eventually want to end up and kind of see myself. Um, but that's something I've thought about.
Hmm.
Um, I've also thought about like if this is where I ultimately like want to be. Like I said, I enjoy LA a whole lot, and I think it was the right move for me for sure. But part of me is also like, is there anywhere else that I want to explore before eventually kind of like putting down roots or whatever?
Yeah.
um, Steve and I have talked about like potentially like what Vegas might be like in terms of like living there and
Mm.
kind of the things that we've just kind of talked about, but never like this is what we're gonna do kind of a thing. Um,
Um,
but yeah, just I don't know that we would go home, but trying to see what else is out there kind of a thing. Um, hey, maybe getting another cat is a goal.
That'd be a good one.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So those kinds of things. Making progress towards my student loans, paying off some of that. That's a big one.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, that's something a lot of people don't talk about. Like that we have to pay off student loans for years and years and years while paying for
years.
rent and paying for a car and doing taxes and paying for everything. But the student loans,
Yeah.
they're just right behind you, biting your ass all the time.
I tell you, dude. Oh my God. That's part of the reason I think I like thought about like going back to school, even going back to school and like taking some classes at like a community college, because if you're enrolled more than I think like half time, you don't have to pay your loans. So if I was
Mm,
enrolled for more than like half time for maybe like a year or two, just to give me a little break to like
yeah,
build up some savings or something like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm curious, what kind of goals do you have? Or maybe I need to start making a list. I haven't been asked that in a minute. I feel like after school, it's like, yeah, well, get a job and you're on your own. So,
right.
whatever.
Uh, well, getting my degree was a big one. That'll be next year. It took me, it's been a long journey. By the time I graduate, I think it'd be 8 years, 2026. If we graduate 2018, yeah, that's 8 years. Yeah, it's been a long journey for me. Like a lot of like ups and downs, change of major, gap year. But also I was working full time throughout all those 8 years, so it's hard to take as many units as I would like to. Um, so getting my degree, and I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I see what I'm taking in the fall, what I'm taking in the spring, and like I see it happening. So that's really nice because for a long time I was lost and I felt like it was never ending, that I was never gonna make it to the end. So that's really nice. That's a big goal of mine. Yeah, I've had an apartment with my roommate Andrew for a couple years now, and which is cool. Like it's really nice, but I've always wanted to be on my own, like have a place
Yeah.
on my own that I call mine. I've always like preferred being on my own. I like my own space, and yeah, so I maybe when I graduate, I can start getting into that step as well. Um, Goodness gracious, people keep asking me about like marriage and kids and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
And we're
I'm
too
li-
little for that. Don't you know that we're only like 17?
yeah,
Oh, wait.
I still feel
Like,
like it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so I
I
don't
feel that
know.
for sure.
I always
Oh,
tell people like, ask me in my 30s, please. There's still way too much for me to do and learn and grow with. Um,
and it's crazy that to think like so many people that we know are already like fantastic
oh my God.
parents, like have full on families, and it's like, oh man, more power to you guys. That is amazing because I can barely take care of myself and my cat.
Literally, I could barely even pay for myself.
Now that is the primary reason. Let's not kid ourselves. I feel that 1,000,000%. Oh
Yes.
God.
So yeah, they keep asking me about that, but I'm like, ask me in my 30s. We'll see. And then it's also very different for me, like to have like a kid on my own. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have to look into like adoption or I don't know, something like that. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It'll be later on. Another goal of mine, which is happening, I think next month. Yeah, next month. I never knew my biological dad growing up. Like I never met him at all. Um, but I've had his number for like 5 years, and I told myself one day I'll like, I don't know, like get the courage to like reach out and see
Yeah.
if he even like, I don't know, thinks about me or knows that I exist because we've never talked or anything. Um, so this year we finally like had communication and we've talked on the phone and everything's been
Oh,
going really great. So, he lives in Colorado, so I'm flying to Denver next month. I'm gonna go for a weekend and meet him officially. So that was a big goal of
oh
mine
my
at some point.
gosh.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
thank you. Yeah, that was a big goal. So finally that's happening, I can like check that off the list.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like he has his own kids and there's a whole other family there that I don't have a relationship with. So it'd be nice to kind of open that door and see what I've been missing my whole life. So
Yeah.
that's what I have.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much my goals. Um, and just to be there for my sisters too. Like I'm the oldest sibling and I know things that they went through. And there's things that I wish I knew, like coming out of high school, that I can like spread my knowledge and help them and guide them in a certain way that I wish I had. Um,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate to being protective of
I
your
feel
sibling.
that 1,000,000%. Yeah, that speaks. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I don't want the world to like stomp all over them. I want to teach them about stuff. Because I had to teach myself like about what taxes are, what a credit card is. I had to teach myself about all these adult stuff. Um,
Yeah.
and so if I can like, I don't know, help them guide, let them know like everything's gonna be okay. Take your time. Um, you don't have to rush everything, just,
Mhm.
little by little. So yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I totally hear that.
Hmm.
I feel like we had talked about it before, but forgive me. What
Yeah.
major are you going to be graduating with?
I'm a music
Did you go
major.
in music? Okay, perfect. Okay, cool.
I did, yeah. That's what I originally wanted to do straight out of high school, but
Yeah.
um, let's just say life took me a different way. Like a lot of my family members and people like didn't weren't too I don't know, accepting of that decision. And school is a lot
Mm.
of money, and again, I was lost at the time, so I went the psychology route. I started liking it. Um, but then I took statistical psychology and I was like, "Oh shit, this is not."
That sounds crazy. What is
Yeah.
that?
Basically like a statistics class, you have to like do I don't know, like do your own lab research and stuff and get your results, like do the whole statistics, and then with all of that data, um, it's all relating to psychology, so it's data from like patients and stuff like that. But everything was like on a computer, and it was just a lot, so I couldn't move forward with psychology. So that's when I took a gap year to figure things out. But then music came right back around. I'm like, this is what I've always wanted to do. It's the only thing that I like, you know? So it's different
Yeah,
when you major in something that you actually are passionate about and actually like. Because ever since I
100%.
majored in music, like straight A's, like every single class I've taken, I've got an A because I love it. And then finals, they're not really stressful for me. Like it's a lot, but I enjoy every step of it because I love what I do. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm in choir now. I'm in piano. I'm doing a lot of singing stuff, music production, audio engineering. What else do we do? Music theory, I hate. Thank God I'm done with that. But I had to do three classes
Okay.
of music theory, which is like writing music, reading sheet music.
Hmm.
Um, like it's a lot of crazy stuff. I call it like the chemistry of music. It's insane. So thank God I'm done with that. Um,
Nice.
I'm gonna learn guitar pretty soon. So it's just like kind of everything that I've always wanted to learn because growing up in North County, like there was no musical theater, there was no piano, there were no singing lessons. So I didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of opportunities to kind of learn about that. So now that I'm in college, I can do the things that I wanted to do and soak up all the knowledge. So yeah, it's been really fun and yeah, it's still really expensive getting your
Mm.
degree. I know CCMB is a lot cheaper than other ones, but still like about $4,000 a semester is a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, music major.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you followed your passion with that because, like you said, it changes your like perspective on your learning, right? It's like you're so much more
Mhm.
engaged and curious and genuinely want to learn and kind of understand more about the subjects that you're working on and things like that. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Huge congrats to you for making that pivot because I think that's amazing.
Thank you. What was your major again? I know you were in Cal Poly, but what was your major?
Yeah. Super boring. Business major.
Oh,
I was a business major and I got a marketing concentration,
got
but
it.
then I took a minor in event planning and experience management. Um, so I wanted to have like the foundation of like the business because I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do. And I feel like at least having that as like a baseline could let me go a lot of different directions. But taking the minor in the event planning and stuff like that was similarly, it's like where I had more fun. It was where I really genuinely enjoyed every class that I took. Like
Yeah.
there was event planning classes and sports management classes that I took, and I was working for the athletics department on the events team at the time, so I was working like pre-game events for basketball and for football, and working in the suites and stuff like that during football games, and so that part of it
Mhm.
was a lot more fun. And so now, like with my job that I have currently, it's event sales. So I get like the sales piece and like more like the business side, like contracting and things like that. But I also am selling something that I genuinely like enjoy and like am trying to build these things with my team that are like people are going to have a great experience with. And so I think it's a happy kind of melding of the two worlds. So
Yeah.
I'm a proponent of like everything happens for a reason, and the path that you end up on is the one that you're kind of meant to be on, and everything will fall into place the way that it should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you made the right choice for yourself, my friend, and I think it's gonna open a whole lot of doors for you.
Thank you. Thank you. You
Yeah.
too. The focus on event planning sounds super fun. Like everything you just listed, like it sounds like a fun thing to focus on and then to lead to your job now. Like I think it's really, really cool. And because I remember you were also, I don't know, was it when you were on campus? You were like at a gym or like a fitness center of some sort?
Oh yeah. So I was working at Orange Theory Fitness. It's like
Yeah.
a chain like fitness studio.
Yeah.
They had just opened one in San Luis Obispo, and so I
Mm.
got hired on as like the opening staff essentially of this new gym. So I did that for a couple of years while I was still in school,
Yeah.
um, and that was so much fun too. It's like
Yeah.
working at, I don't know, being in that kind of energy. I feel like with people like who want to be bettering themselves and are super excited to like be there and work hard and stuff like that was really cool too.
That's cool. Yeah. And the closest thing I got to like a business kind of class, I took music business. Which is cool. Like we learned kind of like the basics on like how to start a business and open one and how to keep I don't know all the money going. But our like big assignment was to present to the class our own business, but it had to be related to music or the music industry in some sort. So mine was like a record store. So I was gonna open my own record store, but like you
Nice.
had to like present everything, like the square foot of the building, how much the taxes are, how much you're gonna pay a month, and how much you're gonna pay your employees, and like every single little detail on starting a business. And then I
Yeah.
even had to like present like what the building would look like. So I had to work with like AI and stuff so that they could like make it for me. I needed to
Oh my
present, yeah,
gosh.
like a logo, all the vinyls I was gonna sell, like all that stuff. So it was like a fun class. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of work and people don't really consider like how expensive and crazy it is to start your own business.
1,000,000%. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Speaking of like music and stuff, have you been to any concerts recently? Do you have any on the books? I know, I feel like you usually go to at least a couple.
Always a couple, yeah. The
Yeah.
the 31st, I think is a Saturday. Yeah, Coldplay. Coldplay's coming to Stanford. I'm excited because I haven't been to that venue yet. I guess Stanford has like a stadium, so and this is the second time I've seen Coldplay. So yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Nice.
Um, oh my God. Well, I'm looking at Benson Boone right now. Kelly Clarkson has a residency in Vegas
Oh,
At Caesar's Palace this
no
summer
way.
and August, September. So I'm trying to see where I can fit that in. Um, as of now, I haven't really bought any. When I go to Boston, Kesha is gonna be doing a show. She's someone I've
Oh,
always wanted to see since I
nice.
was a kid.
Yeah.
She's going on a tour in Boston, so I'm like, guys, we have to go. We have to go. Like, I really want
Yeah.
to. And they're like, Yoel, don't start. And I'm like, come on, we have to go. So
That would be a fun one, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, it'd be a crazy one. And I just I don't know. I don't think I as of now just Coldplay like for sure. Anais loves this band called Peach Pit. I haven't listened to them too much,
Okay.
but they're doing a show in San Francisco that she wants to go to.
Nice.
Um Lady Gaga's on tour. I was looking at her
Mm,
tickets, but those are crazy.
yeah.
Um
Yeah.
they're crazy, so I don't know about that. My little sister loves Katy Perry. She really wanted to see her in July. She keeps talking about it, so maybe we might go. Um, but yeah, for now, for sure, Coldplay, and then I do want to see Benson Boone at some point. So yeah. What about you?
He just like blew up. I feel like maybe I just wasn't invested in him quite early enough, but it seems like
Yeah,
he just came out of nowhere and now he's everywhere.
yeah, I'm really proud of him because I'd consider myself like a real fan since like day one because I
Yeah.
remember this is how it went down. I'll explain it to you. So it was like peak of COVID. He started doing covers just on TikTok and stuff. And I'm like, oh, he's really, really good. And then like another one would pop up on my feed. I'm like, oh, he's really good. Let me follow him. He literally had like less than like 1,000 followers. So I
Oh my
followed him and I'm
gosh.
like liking his stuff, commenting, and he would respond to some of them. He's like, thank you so much for the support. And he was just a really sweet, sweet guy. And some of the covers started going viral, and I'm like, oh my God, he's blowing up. It's really cool. So then he
Yeah.
auditioned for American Idol, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's auditioning, and he got three yeses, so he made it on the show, and it was really cool. But then he dropped out of the competition for whatever reason, and then he got signed to a record label. Dan Reynolds, the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, signed him to
Oh,
his label. And then yeah, he like released his first single called Ghost Town, and it kind of blew up as well. It went really well. Yeah, and it was just a few singles here and there, and then an EP, and started touring. But yeah, that song Beautiful Things kind of just really took off for him,
yeah.
and put him on the next level. And like before I know it, like he's performing at Coachella.
Coachella. Yeah.
He's opening for Taylor Swift at Wembley Stadium. He gets nominated for a Grammy. He's doing SNL. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because he was just like a small artist that I love so
Yeah.
much. And I was never able to see him, but now he's going on tour, like headlining arenas that are selling out like
Yeah.
crazy. And I'm like, this is fucking nuts. He just blew up, and it's crazy, but it's cool for people to see. Like sometimes people they don't think they can make it in the music industry, but Benson Boone did it in like 3 to 4 years. Yes, he's very talented,
Yeah.
but a lot of it's like marketing, which I'm sure you know, like marketing and promotion and putting yourself out
Yeah.
there and saying yes to a lot of things really gets you far. So yeah, I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, that's crazy. You came in on like the ground floor with that. Yeah, well, you were one of the OG like fans. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
there's
awesome.
there's three that I consider like my small artists, and it was Benson Boone. There's one called Jamie Miller, who I've posted a lot about. I've been to his shows. He's really cool. I went to LA actually to do, he invited me to like a meet and greet situation.
Oh,
So
nice.
sometime beginning of 2023, I think it was. And then there's another one, he's called Leroy Sanchez. I mostly grew up on his YouTube covers, but he does music too, and I think he's gonna go on tour. So those are like my three that I call them my small artists that I kind of like kept to myself, that I supported. I feel like a lot of us have those like these artists that they're not really like that well known or famous, but we love them so much, and they'll do like small gigs, and we kind of like hope and pray that they don't blow up because then we have to fight for like concert tickets and stuff like that.
And the concert ticket market is crazy right now. I just
Yeah.
all those dang bots and stuff. It's like, ugh, it's
Yeah,
wild.
tickets. I feel like everything I see is like 200, $300, and they're not even like resales yet. And yeah, all the
Yeah,
bots, they'll just buy them and just resell them like that. Like half of them are bots, and I'm like, yeah, it's I don't know what happened to the concert world, but I miss like $30, $40 tickets.
right?
Because you don't
Yeah,
think about like you have to pay for parking too, and you have to pay if you want merch. And then they sell drinks there that are like $25 each freaking drink. And
yeah,
if you have to take off work, that's another thing. And they start like at 9 or 10 p.m. It's done by like 1 a.m. and you have work the next day. It's like it's nuts. Like you have to invest a lot for concerts nowadays.
yeah. I hadn't been to a concert in a minute. It had
Mm,
probably been a few years. Um, but his name is Joe, but it's spelled DJO. Not sure if you're familiar with him, but
okay. Yeah, I think I've
he
seen that name somewhere. Yeah,
his name is Joe Keery, and he plays Steve in Stranger Things.
I do know. Yes.
Okay, but he's also a musician, and he had that song that blew up on TikTok last year called End of Beginning. And so he was a smaller artist. Not a whole lot of people knew that it was the actor because he would go out on stage in like a wig and a mustache to try to conceal the fact that like he is who he is because he didn't want people to like come to his shows because they like Steve from Stranger Things, but they wanted him to he wanted them to come because they genuinely like his music, you know?
Yeah.
But since that song blew up on TikTok, he finally was like, yes, it's me. It's been me all along.
Mm,
Um, but he just released an album in April and is touring now through like November, I think. So
mm,
um, we went to a show that they had out here about a month or so ago, and he's still like small enough that like the venue was pretty small, so we got to be pretty close, which was really cool. Um, but I think after this, and I think after the next season of Stranger Things that comes out, I think we're gonna be cooked. Like that. for he did like tickets for the first leg of the tour, and then he announced like the second leg of the tour a week or two ago, and it was a battle to get tickets for this
Oh
next leg.
no.
And so it's the same thing. It's like if you're not in with like the artist pre-sale
Yeah.
and you're not already like in the queue before tickets go live, like you're totally cooked. And even if you are, you still might be cooked.
Yeah.
The seats you want or the tickets you want probably aren't going to be available, and good luck when they go on general sale, because then you're definitely like
Yeah.
no way. Um, but I'm that is currently my obsession. His I really enjoy his music, and his openers at his show when we went were fantastic. Apparently they're like all friends, so they're all touring together, which is really cool.
Cool.
So I will be catching them again in October when they come
Nice.
back to LA. And I'm tempted to catch them a third time if I can get my hands on tickets that are a decent resale price. I may or may not be inclined to purchase those. We shall see.
Nice. I gotta
Um,
listen to his music because yeah, I've only heard. I think that song that you mentioned, I have heard. But yeah, I've only seen his acting skills, and I think wasn't he in a movie like was it Ghostbusters or like there was some kind of franchise movie that he
he
was a part of.
he was in Free Guy, which was like a
Oh, that
Disney
one.
like video game movie with Ryan Reynolds. He was
That's
on
the
that
one I
TV show
saw.
Fargo. He's been in a few different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. But I am also going to see Katy Perry in July, which is hilarious. My little sister wanted to go, and
Oh,
so my
there you
little
go.
sister, my stepmom, and I are planning to go. I think it's in Frisco. I don't even remember where it is, but if you guys decide to go, I might see you there.
Yeah, yeah, Chase Center, July. I don't know if it's 31st or the 30th or if it's the 19th.
Okay.
One of those. Yeah, we might end up going. We'll see. But yeah, that'd be a fun one. Is there someone that's like always been on your list though, that you've never seen that you've always wanted to?
That is a good question. There's probably a list of people that like I would like to see. I
Hmm.
think seeing Joe live was like my number one. So now it's like I that's part of the reason I want to try to catch him as many times on this tour, because I don't know when he's going to be touring again.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to see Lady Gaga. I
Yes.
think that would be so much fun, but I can't afford to go to her shows at
Hmm.
this point.
She did a
Um,
few at the Forum, I think it was. A few shows, or she's
yeah.
doing, I don't know when, but it's at the
Okay.
Forum.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I heard a lot for the Cowboy Carter tour that like even though it was tough to get tickets initially, people ended up selling a lot of their tickets closer to the concert date. So maybe there's a chance get luckier with better pricing and stuff when the concert date gets closer.
Yeah.
Um, but Lady Gaga would be cool. Um, I would love to see Kesha. That would be great. Um, the
She,
Jonas Brothers are also coming out here at some point this year, but I looked at Jonas Brother concert ticket prices and was like, oh yeah, that's maybe not this time around.
oh
Um,
wow. Look at
but I would,
Kesha, because Kesha's tickets are
yeah,
very cheap and she is doing the Forum
okay.
this summer.
Say less, you know. I will have to check that out because I I had loved her music growing up, whether we should have been listening to it or not.
No,
But she
literally. Like
was
I
so
had
much
no
fun.
business at 10, 11 years old saying this stuff.
Yeah.
This tour is called the Tits Out World Tour. That's what it's called.
Hey, that sounds like a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I told Bobby and Andrew. I'm like, it's called the Tits Out World Tour. He's like, oh, you don't say. I'm like, yeah, we gotta go. Those are some good ones. I've seen the Jonas Brothers a couple years ago in Mountain View. Yeah, they're very good. And very nostalgic. Like all those artists that we grew up on, like that's kind of why I want to go. Like just to hear those songs we grew up on in like a different environment.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
who else was like, there's a couple of different festivals that I wish were closer
Mm,
that the lineups are pretty good. Like Austin City Limits lineups are pretty looking pretty good so far. There's a couple of festivals out in like New York and DC that had pretty good lineups. It's like, ah, man, do I commit to making a whole trip out of it? That I don't know.
yeah.
Because like for some of these smaller artists, it or I guess even the bigger ones too, it's like it's really cool when you can get up super close. Like if
Yeah.
you camp and get like closer to barricade and stuff like that, like that experience is insane. And so I don't
Mm.
know if I how I would feel about like flying all the way out to New York for a festival and like having to sit all the way in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
uh,
haven't been, but yeah, if I do go, like, I don't want to be like in the back because you're standing all day as well. Like, if you're
mhm.
gonna stand, like, you want to make it worth it and get up close and personal. I still have yet to go to one. I know there's the Bottle Rock one in Napa. They have a good one this year, and then
Yeah, they did.
Outside Lands in San Francisco. Looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So I gotta try one of those first before I do like a bigger one. Cause yeah, my feet hurt standing up.
Have you ever done Coachella? I have. I kind of embarrassed to say that have never been.
I'm actually shocked you haven't, at least just one since you're so close, like at least to try it out.
Yeah, I think the idea of like getting to listen to all this different type of music and stuff like that is really cool. I think a lot of the other elements of like going to a music festival don't particularly appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially like out at Coachella, like it gets really hot and dusty and yeah, a lot of people, porta potties. I don't know.
Sharing,
Just some of the
yeah,
experience, yeah, just doesn't. I don't know how I feel about that. If
yeah,
I had like a bunch of money and could go and do like the safari camping or go and stay in like a hotel and take a golf cart to the like festival grounds and stuff like that, maybe I would go.
yeah,
But uh
yeah,
more power to the people that like camp out for the weekend and stuff like that. I'm sure it's fun in its own right. It's just maybe not for me.
yeah. It's never caught my attention. It's never interested me. I never thought like all the money that I have to put into it, like getting down there and for the tickets and all the money I'm gonna spend, I don't think it'd be worth it for me or I'd enjoy it that much. And again, like I want to be up nice and personal. I don't really
Yeah.
like the heat that much. I sweat on the regular, like I'm always warm. So I like the idea of like wearing a nice outfit and like hanging out with friends and doing that. But just like driving in there, driving out, like traffic, people, like I don't know. So that's what I like. I want to try out something a little smaller and see. Um,
Yeah.
but no, I haven't. I don't think I will. I watched the live stream from my TV just fine. It looks great. It sounds
I was
great.
gonna say, I imagine the video quality, you can actually see the performers. Like,
Yeah, the live stream is great.
yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well, thank you for doing this. I just looked at the time, like we've
Yeah.
just been yapping away.
Oh my
And
God. Yeah, we have.
I loved this so much. I loved catching up with you. I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for doing this, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah, me too. Thank you again so much for having me back on. It's always great to catch up with you. Seriously, let me know next time you're back down here. Otherwise, we'll plan for around Halloween, and
Yes,
that would be really fun.
we'll plan for Halloween for sure, and then if I do come before, I'll let you know in advance and see what we can do. Yeah.
Sounds good. I wish you nothing but the best too, my friend. It was great to catch up with you.
You too, thank you. Let's take a picture first before I
Okay.
shut up. If I remember how to do a screenshot here. Okay, Shift Command. Okay, ready? One, two. Okay, got it.
Amazing.
Thank you so much again.
Thanks, Joelle. Have a good rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye.